Um, I'm Brooke. I'm a psychological science major. I'm a WIGS minor and a cognitive science minor, and I'm a senior.
I'm Joanne. I'm also a senior. My major is psychology with a minor in HDFS.
Hi, I'm Talia. I'm a speech, language, and hearing sciences major, and I'm a senior at UConn.
Hi, I'm Bruno. I'm a psych major. I'm a senior at the HDFS minor.
Awesome. Okay, so we'll start out with what we thought about it as a whole first. So I thought it was pretty well organized. It was definitely divided into very clear sections, and it thoroughly explains each part and the presence of oppression. I thought it was a little bit repetitive, but it also helped to really drive the points home and allow us to get a clear understanding of all the problems with liberal feminism, capitalism, and neoliberalism. I also thought it was great that they were trying to accomplish the whole message for the 99%. I thought it spoke volumes and they were really taking an intersectional approach to it, giving a voice to everyone instead of the 1% that's already on top. It also made me realize that I kind of had a privileged view of feminism before, and that it's important that we widen the horizon of people that are protected under feminism and fought for and given voices and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I definitely thought that it was a strong call to action for feminist movements to unite as one to tackle capitalism, because that's like at the root of oppression and all the systems that are being oppressed, whether it's gender, class, race, and just kind of showed how feminism needs to be anti-racist, anti-imperialist, eco-socialist, international, and most importantly, anti-capitalist. So I thought it was really effective in showing the points through like the thesis, like you said, and just like outlining everything just to like really get an idea of what they were talking about and trying to aim with their new feminism.
Yeah, I felt like the book was an eye opener to the problems of capitalism and gave me a different perspective of what feminism is overall and what women face.
I mean, I agree with all your points. And coming from, the male standpoint, it's kind of more eye-opening now, seeing how women are always oppressed and going through the struggle that isn't really talked about or is kind of played down throughout, media and stuff like that. And it's very interesting, to learn about all this stuff.
I agree. If you guys want to move on to the thesis. So we chose thesis 2 and 3. We thought that they gave a good overarch of the whole book. So thesis 2, liberal feminism is bankrupt. It's time to get over it. It really talks about how liberal feminism is part of the problem, and it kind of lets the social hierarchy that's already here stay. It just aims to diversify it and empower the women and the men that are already on the top. Women are only seen as the underrepresented group. It doesn't really include a lot of other people. And it only allows women of privilege to rise to men of their own class. So people that are lower classes can't really get to the top. It's just more about breaking the glass ceiling while leaving the rest of the people to kind of clean it up.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I really liked this one because it just explained the problems with liberal feminism and its close ties to neoliberal oppression of healthcare, education, housing, pensions, transport, all of that stuff, um, by offering approaches that actually transform the system and recreate it rather than just like adjusting like a few things here and there that really like under the capital system only benefits the 1%.
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. I feel like it touches base on liberal feminism and how it is a big part of the problem. Um, I feel like the authors stated how it focuses on allowing privileged women to continue to climb up the corporate ladder while the others struggle, and it does everything but try to abolish social hierarchy.
I agree. I was going to talk about the point where you talk about how only privileged women get to rise up. So I 100% agree with you. It's the whole glass ceiling issue about how women should support other women and not just, only be beneficial to themselves, and everybody should try to empower each other.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, definitely. I was just gonna say, going off of that, just kind of shows how it spreads to the social media celebrity culture and how they're kind of like the 1% and they feed on the neoliberal capitalist system because it elevates them, the like few 1%, rather than focusing on liberating the other marginalized groups. Um, and then this made me think of something really random with current events, but Cardi B recently came out with a Reebok shoe ad that depicted her as a Hindu goddess. So she was trying to use this symbol as a way to promote herself and feminism, but only promoted herself and in the process failed feminism by not taking like religion and culture into consideration when creating the campaign because she definitely received backlash from that.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Okay, we can move on to thesis 3. We need an anti-capitalist feminism, a feminism for the 99%. So this one kind of talked about a new feminism that recognizes many crises, like living standards, ecological disasters, dispossession, migration issues, racism, um, basically all the things that cause oppression, not just against women, but against everything in our world. It protects the poor and working class women, racialized and migrant women, queer, trans, and disabled women, and the middle class that are being exploited by capitalism. And it really goes into the issues in capitalism and neoliberalism. And it says how feminism for the 99% is anti-neoliberal and anti-capitalist, and that's the only way that we can kind of get an equal society with everyone, by allying with other movements to gain power.
Definitely. I thought that this chapter like really explained why the authors were defining their movement as feminism for the 99% and how we need to take all those intersections into account in Wig's work and anything, honestly. Just because if you don't, then you're contributing to the oppression. And we can't really get over that until we all accept it and accept our differences and just come together to fight it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with what you guys are saying for thesis 3. I feel like it refuses to sacrifice the well-being of many to protect the freedom of the few who are not part of the elites, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you guys. Because feminism isn't only for women's issues, it's about including everybody. Real feminism is about including everybody and trying to have equality for everybody. So it makes sense that, everybody wants to have the same as each other. Kind of like relating to thesis 2, when the whole bringing down thing and lifting up is everybody's trying to have the same as everybody, and no one's trying to be above anybody. So I thought this thesis was really interesting.
I agree. It also made me think about how like binary we see everything, and it reminded me of Harry Styles' Vogue photo shoot, and he did this whole like non-binary photo shoot, and a lot of people are having issues with it, but hopefully with the 99% feminism, things like that will be like normal and be okay to be mainstream. But right now he's kind of getting a lot of backlash because things like that are still not okay. So, well, they are, but like they're
That's
not.
interesting. I had no idea about that.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of backlash for it. Okay, so this book also related to feminist solidarity after queer theory, the case of transgender by Hayes. They talk about how the feminist project needs to speak to more than just women and men, heterosexual women and lesbians. And it also talks about the need for ending a binary view of who to protect under feminism, and how more inclusion to trans and others who do not fall under the binary definitions need a voice and to be spoken up for, and how we need like more inclusivity and solidarity between more than just women and men. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I definitely think that we need to be more inclusive of everyone, especially like women of color, just like any of those marginalized groups, and just the need to consider intersectionality and dismantle these oppressive systems in order to receive this equality that these groups are lacking.
Mhm. What other texts did you guys think related to it?
I thought of Patty Duncan's Hot Commodities, Cheap Labor. So in that one, she expressed her experiences with harassment and discrimination with her WIGS department. It was actually her director. And I was just really shocked by that. I wasn't expecting to find that, of all places, in a WIGS department that's supposed to be inclusive and promoting intersectionality and doing all of this stuff. But if anything, it just showed how women of color are significantly marginalized. Like, she had to resign because of it. And I just thought it was sad that her university had no interest in restructuring the racial institutional structures in the WIGS program, and just how higher education is shaped by that corporate power reinforcing racism and discrimination rather than accepting the diversity and accepting her and treating her as equal and with respect. So
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree with that because it was kind of ironic
yeah,
that the whole department that's supposed to be inclusive, everybody still tries to shut people out of it, you know, especially people of color, women of color, more especially because they seem to be the most marginalized group right now. And if we're going to achieve the whole, you know, equality and everything, then we need to accept every single person who wants to be part of this. And it's kind of disappointing that Patty had to resign and everything. But learning from this is, you know, a big step to change the future and how we would see things, say, if we get into a higher power.